Hey guys, how are we? Welcome to the casting couch. For every video, I kind of try and focus on one thing and improve upon that one thing for the next video. So for today, I'm gonna try to make this a bit shorter because I think 13 minutes, week 15 was a bit long. So let's see if I can do that. So it is Saturday, it's 8 p.m. It's my first time recording for week 16. So I'm in a bit of a time crunch, but that's all right. And this week was a bit challenging. It was a bit of a fuck up, but I have a valuable lesson that I've learned that I want to share. So let's get right into it. Before I do that though, I thought I'm just gonna show you and go through how I kind of work my Genki lessons throughout the week. So let's get right into it, and we'll start just with lesson 14 actually, because that's what I've done this week. So yeah, if you haven't worked with Genki at all, the basic structure is that there's always a dialogue in the beginning, the translation, the next part is the vocabulary section. Then comes the grammar section, which is the grammar explained, so the theory. And then after all the theory, you have the practice section. You technically also have the workbook. I'm not going to show it to you right now. It's basically just the practice section of the textbook with a listening comprehension at the end. So how do I kind of go through this? The first part is I listen to the dialogue. All of these have recordings, so I listen to it and I shadow. Shadowing means I listen to the computer voice and I try to mimic the recording of the dialogue as good as I can. And after that, I jump right into the vocabulary section and I basically learn all of the vocabulary, but I don't always learn all of them. On this occasion with lesson 14, I think I did actually. Yeah, so on this lesson I did, but if you have Genki 1, for example, the early lessons, the right side has like some additional vocabulary, and these words are like a bit unnecessary for you in the beginning because you're learning like hello and this and how are you and this is a cell phone and whatever. And then the right side has additional vocabulary in lawyer and international relations and shit like this. I'm not quite sure why they put that, but anyway. So let's continue to this, which I do in quite a unique way, I guess. Maybe it's not as unique as I think, but I basically go onto YouTube first and watch a video kind of like Genki 2 lesson 14 grammar explained. Tokini Andy, for example, is a great resource. And after I've watched that video, then I go back to the book and read through everything and see if I understand it. Your main goal is to understand the grammar section. That's all you're trying to do. You're not even trying to memorize anything yet. You just go through and you look at here, for example, hoshi or kamoshirenai or kamoshiremasen. And you just try to understand the concept. And understanding doesn't mean, okay, this means I want. Okay, now I understand it. No. There are small subtleties in different languages, and those are important. Because these small things matter when it comes to being fluent or sounding natural at some point. So when I have done that, I've gotten through all of the grammar section, I go to the practice questions. It's fairly simple, but there is a few things if you're studying solo. And it makes it a bit harder because there are, like the normal ones are no problem, but there is stuff like group work, for example, or pair work or class activity. And if you do have someone you're studying with who's on your level, or you are in a class, then make use of those because they offer some really, really good value. But chances are, if you're watching this video, you're studying Japanese alone. But besides that, there's just one other kind of hardship, which is correcting your stuff. And that isn't necessarily fixed with having a study partner, because he probably doesn't know more than you do. But if you don't have a teacher, correcting your things is a bit tedious. Because, number one, there's individual answers. So for example, if you go to, yeah, what's this? 3F or something. Yeah, 3F. Answer the following questions. Like, if I zoom in a bit, this is 去年の誕生日に何をもらいましたか? So what did you get last year on your birthday? And that answer is not going to be in the answer key because they obviously don't fucking know what you got for your birthday last year. So that can be challenging. And then the second point is where you do have a kind of answer in the answer key, but, or at least there is one kind of definite answer in the answer key, but yours is different to that. And it being different does not mean that it is wrong. Yours might even be better. So that's something that's just fixed by having a teacher around, either someone who studied Japanese and is already a lot better, or if possible, just a Japanese native person who can correct your work. But yeah, that's basically it. After that, I just do the workbook section as well, of course. And yeah, besides that, there's like small counters. These actually useful expression things at the end of each lesson are quite useful. But yeah, that's already lesson 15, and that's everything to how I kind of go through my Genki lessons throughout the week. So let's get back to that valuable lesson that I promised to you earlier. So this is the screenshot of my week 16 plan. As you can see, Monday is actually completely blank because that's when I edited last video. So that's why the upload was on Monday as well. So my week basically started on Tuesday. It started off quite well, but it went downhill pretty quickly. So on Tuesday after uni, something came up and I was basically busy for 3-4 hours, I think until 8 p.m. So I couldn't get anything done. And then I meal prepped, so the day was basically fucked. So on Wednesday, I felt kind of shit, pretty demotivated. I slept in, so I didn't wake up at 6 a.m. I didn't do anything after uni. Well, at least not as much as I had planned. And went to bed late. And then on Thursday, I slept in again. So a whole fuck up. Just me being lazy, being unmotivated, and not doing my shit. But there's one thing that kind of saved my ass, and that's the only or main reason why I'm still done with everything I wanted now on Saturday. So that kind of carried my week. And what I'm talking about is filling small gaps of time during the day where you don't have anything to do with something productive. What I'm not talking about is just filling absolutely every minute with something productive, like for me, Anki cards or grammar lessons or whatever, and just not allowing yourself to rest and being miserable. That's not what I'm talking about, and that's not what you should do. What I am talking about is rather replacing bad habits with good ones. What that means for me is, for example, when I'm going to uni by bus and my bus arrives at 7:36 or 8:36, so I have about 20 minutes until the lectures start, and using this time off for whatever I have planned throughout the day gives me a head start on the day and frees up space at the end of it. So I can either work more if I want or just enjoy the time off. But don't get me wrong, it's not completely effortless. It's not like scrolling Instagram. Like, there is going to be a bit of resistance. It's easier to scroll Instagram. It's more fun to scroll Instagram. That's true. But what I am telling you, it's really, really worth it. Like, this isn't a revolutionary concept for you or for me either. I obviously knew fucking doing Anki cards instead of wasting time on Instagram is more productive. Duh. Yeah, I know. But this week, I really kind of learned how big of an impact it is. And the cost of not scrolling Instagram, that bit of resistance, is just so much smaller in relation to the gain that you get. And that's just something that surprised me this week, because I often caught myself where I'm not exhausted and I don't need a break, and I have some extra time that I would normally choose to just kill on Instagram or on YouTube, because yeah, it's just 10 minutes, I'm not gonna get a lot of shit done. But I would be wrong, because you actually get a lot of shit done, because there's quite a lot of these moments and they sum up like a lot. And that's what I learned this week. I had a few of those moments and I filled them up with something productive, and it ended up with me actually being done with everything on this week, even though I couldn't spend a lot of time after uni towards Japanese. So in conclusion, what I'm saying is, using all those little slots that we have time off and filling them in with something productive amounts to a lot more than I thought, and probably a lot more than you think as well. And it doesn't mean that you can't take breaks or you shouldn't take breaks. If you're exhausted, you should take a break. But if you're not, do something productive instead of wasting your time, and you'll find that you just get so much more shit done. Then you can either work more on the end of your day or your week, or just enjoy your free time. That's completely up to you, because you've reached your goals quicker than you thought. You can do some extra work if you want, but you don't have to.